All right, mile time trial day. We're heading out right now to the track. Get a shakeout this morning. It's rainy out. It's like 55. It did stop raining, so hopefully that's gonna help us, but we'll see you at the track. All right, people, so we got to the track, and obviously I was super nervous for the time trial, so there wasn't much talking, just a little bit of B-roll banter here and there. First off, guys, though, I really want to give Brandon Kidder a massive shout out. Let's get some shout outs to Brandon Kidder in the comment section below for pacing this race for me. He's such a homie. He didn't have to do this. This was his off season, so such a good friend for doing this for me, and I really appreciate him doing it. Let me talk about the goals for today in this time trial, guys. So the goal of this time trial was, I was feeling really fit going into this. I felt like my strength, it was at an all-time high, and that I might be able to waltz in there and potentially challenge the 4-minute barrier in the mile. I've broken 4 one time before. I ran 3:59.97 4 years ago. So I was thinking, okay, I'm feeling really strong right now. I'm not super sharp, so we didn't taper up for this at all, but we figured, okay, maybe you can go out there and just run 60s and then potentially give yourself a chance to break 4. So our goal was to run 2 flat-ish through 800, and then Brandon was going to step off at around 900, and then just hopefully from there I could hang on and potentially break 4. But right before we start this race, guys, I want to tell you about our sponsor today. This is the Heat Pulse Knee Massager 2 by Hydrogun. I absolutely love this product. The Heat Pulse 2 utilizes heat therapy and massage to alleviate knee pain easily. The Heat Pulse 2 is super easy to use. It has 2 straps that you use to tighten onto your leg. It can fit different sized limbs as well. Once it is on, you put the magnetic control panel on it. You hold down the power button to turn it on. Then you have control over your preferred heat and speed of the vibration of the device. I like using the Heat Pulse 2 after a workout day with a lift. The Heat Pulse 2 helps alleviate the soreness in my knees and makes me feel more recovered for my next day's runs. It is super convenient and easy to set up, so I can multitask once I'm using it. I've been reading and watching TV while I use it usually. If you are interested in the Heat Pulse Knee Massager 2 by Hydrogun, click the link in my description to get $20 off your order. The Heat Pulse Knee Massager 2 has helped me a ton, and I hope it can help you as well. Thank you, Hydrogun, for sponsoring today's video. Alright, Spencer here to commentate this race. We are off. Boom. Brandon, shout out again for the pace job. But yes, I stuck to him right off the bat. We actually did 2 200s before this just to feel out the pace, and he ran a 29 high, and I stuck right behind him. So hopefully we were trying to get out and around that same thing. But this was an interesting day. The weather at first, it was really pouring that morning, and it felt a little cold. But once we got to the track at like 1-ish, it was actually nice out. It was gray, but it was serviceable for a decent time trial. Luckily, there were no kids on the track, so we were lucky in that regard, and we were able to have no worries with them, and we had the track to ourselves, which was good. But here we are, coming through 300. I was feeling really good at this point, just sticking to Brandon, and my focus was just stay on him as much as possible. Just don't let any gaps form, and just stay as relaxed as possible. Trust that this professional runner is going to know what he's doing. Boom, we're coming through 400 in around 60-ish. 61.5-ish through 409, so perfect pace job. And now here we are continuing. A little shaky right here, but nothing to worry about. We got to film this whole race to make sure that we get everything correct, just so you guys see the whole thing. And alright, so yeah, at around 600-ish we're coming up on. I was still sticking right on Brandon. He was doing a phenomenal job pacing this, and I honestly felt at this point like, okay, I'm in a good spot. I think we were like 131.5 through 600, which is perfect pace job again. And I was really trying to stick right on his butt. And, I wish I had Brandon for longer in this race. You'll see he comes off at 900, but he was in a great spot still coming up at 800 here. I actually have not watched this race back, so I'm interested in watching it right now. But, yep, here we are coming through in around 2 flat, 201-ish. 201.5 through 809, so that's perfect pace job. Brandon literally did a great job. And alright, you already see right here, this is where it immediately started to get hard for me, as you can see. the gap is not bad, but Brandon pulls off right there, and boom, immediately I felt a decent headwind, and I was like, shit, this is going to be a hard one to do. But, you know, the goal was just keep pushing as hard as we can through this third lap. Give yourself a chance. That was the name of the game here. Give yourself a chance. I came through a K at around 232. So actually that was 1,009 meters in 232. So still right on like 4 flat, 401 pace. Guys, are we going to break 4? Comment down below if you haven't seen this. Are we going to break 4? I dropped my shoulders a little bit just because I was starting to get a little tight, but feeling good coming through. And I just, at this point, actually, no, I'm lying. I'm not feeling good anymore. I was kind of low-key feeling like I was going to start tying up, but boom, we're at 3 flat there, so a little bit off of 4 flat. 302, 303, 303.5 through 1200, baby. If we can close in 60, we can run 403, which would be pretty good. So I kind of just let it loose here, tried to hang on as much as I could, and boom, right here at 300 to go. Again, that wind on that backstretch was tough, and I was hanging in there and literally not breaking down at all still, and just pulling myself, trying to keep giving myself a chance to just keep moving and moving and moving. We're going to come through 333, 334, 35, around 200 to go. So, you know, we're still on pace for something decent. If I close in 28, I can run 403. But guys, I'm going to let you on a little secret. I was done at around this point in the race. Dude, I watching this back, it hurts even to watch, because this last 100 literally was murdersome. Like, I'm already off the pace. Boom, 4 flat, it's gone. And guys, this last 50, it's embarrassing how bad it was. It was just dying towards the line here as we finish up, and 410.5-ish. Guys, my last lap was straight up like a 67, and it was literally all in the last 200. I lost it all in the last 200. I closed in like 36. So the time wasn't there, but you know what? We were really close on being close to a sub 4. It just all died in the last 200. So a lot of positives came out of this. Also, shout out to Ben for the high quality film job. Follow him, BJ Creative, on Instagram down below if you want more high quality shots like this. Follow BJ Creative on Instagram, guys.
Painful. Shit was painful. But dude, maybe you should talk to the camera.
What are the next steps?
I'm not, well, the plan doesn't change at all. This was like, Spencer had been running well in practice, but we hadn't done anything specific towards, I'd say even anything like really under a 5. It's been a lot of strength work, you know, some 200s here and there, but for the most part, it's just what a track runner normally does in the fall, which is a lot of strength work. And Spencer was feeling really fit, and I thought, you know, we both thought it was fine to do a time trial, maybe try to capitalize on it, but I didn't want to give any like high intensity work to force this time, especially in September. Like, it's not even October. The goal is to run well, you know, run fast in the indoor season, January, February. So you really have to time it right. So 410, it is what it is. Those of you who watch the channel will remember Spencer ran about the exact same time in, what was that, May? June? July, a 410, but that was like an even split 410, kind of maybe more an accurate indicator of the fitness. This was a 302 through 1209 and then a 67 point. So that is the really, really hard way to run 410. And I think, to me, you know, I'm not trying to like spin something positive out of it. It wasn't a great race overall, but to go through in 302 and then rig to a 67, I think it's really not ridiculous to say in a couple months he'll be able to go 302 and then close into 57 for, you know, a sub 4 in a race setup too. And I mean, it takes balls to just come out here and do a time trial with one other guy, say bring me through 800 and then I'm going to finish it off myself, and much less do it on camera, do it on YouTube, knowing like maybe you fail and whatever. To run the same time multiple months in a row after a lot of training takes balls. And I don't know if you guys can tell on the other side of the screen, but Spencer's doing a lot of work physically and mentally to become the athlete he wants to be, and it's I feel very, very good about the direction he's headed. So not a great day today, but I don't think it really says anything about what the future looks like for this indoor season and trying to get to the Olympic trials this outdoor season.
67 or 68 on that last lap, so kind of died. Don't really have an excuse or anything, just gave it a hard effort, tried to stay positive, and I think it's pretty clear what happened in the end. But we're strong, we move forward from here. This is why we do this work, so we don't get ahead of ourselves. And yeah, we'll be trying to chip away, try to get back under 4 for this winter.
All right, guys, so obviously a huge blow up last lap and last 200 specifically. Unfortunate for me that I wasn't able to break the 4-minute barrier. I didn't even run close. I ran 4:10, but there was a lot of positive takeaways from it. I think the one positive was that I committed to a hard pace and just felt the surge the last 200 where it really hurt my legs. So I was actually a lot closer than the time shows, but no confidence taken away from it. It was a for fun try and it didn't impact our training at all. We know what we're doing. This is still base phase, so to be running a 4:10 mile, closing super slow the last 200 in base phase, that's not a bad thing to do. But anyway, before I let you guys go, my good friend Isaac Yorks, he's an author, and he recently came out with this 14-part podcast series. It's a futuristic, running related. I don't even want to give any details away. I'm going to show the 2-minute trailer. If you guys are interested, I'll leave a link down below. If you guys are interested in this, please give Isaac some love. Like I said, he's a phenomenal author in the fantasy world. So if you're a fantasy guy and you want fantasy mixed with running and futuristic stuff, click the link down below if you're interested in The Red Line by Isaac Yorks.
How did I end up here, in this god-forsaken land, with the choice between freedom and a life on the run? And why did I choose the latter? Let's take it back to the beginning. Are you listening? Water holds memory. I was aborted. My flesh sold by my mother to bio companies, grown to term, a ghoul amongst men. I was modified. My body made into a fortress of power and speed. I raced across the galaxy. I was like a little god, except one with a life debt, and never any actual chance at freedom. Until... Do you want to be free, Cal? What will it take? There's something we need retrieved. Have you ever heard of the Red Line? The Red Line? Yeah, I've been there before.
Red Line. From science fiction fantasy author Isaac Yorks comes a 14-part series following Cal, a ghoul engineer for track and field, and his struggle for true freedom. Find it everywhere podcasts are streamed, September the 26th.